In 1988, Barry Sanders ran for 2,628 yards to set a single-season college football rushing record that has stood for almost 40 years. Today, a 5'9" kid from New Jersey is going to try to break it. Chris Moltisanti took college football by storm during his junior season as he ran away with the Heisman Trophy despite his Clemson team missing out on the playoffs due to a late season collapse. He's going to need to make some big improvements this year to break Barry's record, as last season he was getting touches on almost every play and ended up with just over 2,000 rushing yards. We'll see if he can break the record, win the Heisman Trophy for the second straight season, and carry Clemson to a national championship, as I'll be playing his entire senior year in this video. Let's get right into it. Game 1, boys, let's get it. We're headed to Mississippi State here. Chris is finally up over 90 overall. Coming into the season, he's a 92, and we can already see much improved speed and acceleration. Chris has to make a couple of guys miss downfield and hits a dirty spin move. Chris Moltisanti is going to take this to the crib on the second play from scrimmage. Let's go. Oh yeah, man, this season is going to be different. Chris is the biggest threat in the country out of the backfield, and with this reception, he's going to get up over 100 receiving yards on the day. The juke and spoon move are clearly so improved. Unfortunately, wear and tear is still an issue. Chris came off for most of the second quarter, so he missed out on a lot of potential running yards, and on second down, he's actually going to fumble the ball. Thankfully, we recover. Not a good look. Coach is running again on third down, and Chris is going to fight for the first, but can't quite get it. All good though, man. It doesn't look like this game is going to be close. Offense has been balling out even with Chris on the field, and when he's on it, we're near unstoppable. But on first down, our quarterback fumbled. Mississippi State took it back to the crib for a touchdown. So this suddenly does look like a game, but this run should help, man. Chris gets a pancake up front, and I actually think this might be his biggest run of the day. Down here in the red zone, we got a big third down to pick up, and Chris will get another nice hole to get inside the 5. I'm trying to get his first rushing touchdown of the year here, but on second down, he can't get anything. We got third and goal. Offense ends up having to settle for a field goal, but thankfully, defense has been playing really nice. Only 50 rushing yards on the day for our guy so far, but a ton of space here. Gotta make it happen, but once again, can't quite get out of there. Let's put the foot on the neck, boys. Chris is gonna hit the handoff and hit the spin move, getting into the end zone, making something out of nothing, and that should hopefully put a lid on this game. That'll do it for game 1. We get a big time ranked win. Should be ranked higher after this one. Chris kind of struggled to get it going in the running game, but through the air, he was unstoppable, man. 5 receptions, average of 30 yards and a touchdown. After the dub, we can once again upgrade our abilities a little bit. For whatever reason, we got a hard non-conference schedule this year. We're taking on Boise State, who has been to the playoffs the last 2 seasons in this road to glory, and oh man, I thought Chris was going to get up out of there with that spin. With these improved abilities, Chris might put up some crazy highlights, and it looks like he's going to try to put one up here. Juking up out of there, he won't quite be able to take this to the crib, but a big time run, his best of the season so far. Got a 3rd and 8 deep in Boise State territory. Coach is going to run for it, and Chris can't get out of there. So the drive does end up stalling out, and the Broncos go down and score. This Boise State team is not a joke. Chris is going to have to cook for the rest of this game. The wear and tear is starting to look a little bit rough, unfortunately. That will make these skill moves not quite as good, but offensive line is continuing to make big holes. And bro, now we've got severe wear and tear. This is going to take Chris off the field for a long time. Dude, am I going to come back for the rest of this game? It's the 4th quarter and Chris is still out. We end up getting the dub, but that is frustrating. I kind of want to take wear and tear off. I feel like it just makes the gameplay more lame. I'm not trying to come out for half of the game for no reason. The brutal non-con schedule continues. This week we're at least at home against Notre Dame, but they started out up 14-0. We've got a 3rd down here, and our quarterback flushed from the pocket. Chris will find a way to get open and pick up the first down. That's the play that this offense needed to get going. Chris is cooking out of the backfield, hitting a little Texas route here, and this is going to get us down to the 2. All right, let's finish off the drive. 1st and goal, but Notre Dame continues to stuff our offensive line. The Irish have got some big boys up front for sure, but we can get it to the outside on this little swing screen. Chris will get in for his first touchdown of the day. Now we need another stop from our defense. This one's looking a little bit rough headed to halftime. Chris is under 10 yards on 10 carries. Unbelievable, man. He hasn't even been running bad, but for the most part, no holes have opened up at all. Got to turn things around in the second half. The running lanes are looking a little bit better. Chris tries to juke out of there for more. Maybe we got something going now, but you see Notre Dame just sending pressure off the edge, run blitzing on almost every play. And I think our starting quarterback is hurt for this game, so we haven't been able to stretch the field quite as well, just relying on simple dump offs so far. Don't need to do too much here, Chris. Just get the first down, and we will thankfully do that. Now we're spreading it out, going 5 wide, and our quarterback's just chucking it up to the end zone. Oh my god, man, that could have easily been a pick. Chris has got to find a way to get open on 3rd and 10. And the quarterback, I don't know where he's going, but he's going to run out of field goal range. This dude is trash. Thankfully, defense has been locked down since that start. They just continue to give us chances on O. At this point, our best hope is to take the game to overtime, and I was trying to just set up a simple screen. Our quarterback throws a pick to the other side. The Clemson fans cannot believe this. A 2-score deficit with just 3 minutes left in the game. The only chance here is if Chris makes a big play, trying to do it here, but can only pick up the first down. I am calling for the ball on every play. I don't care. Our quarterback has shown that he can't make a read. We need Chris to just be able to make a play with his feet. And he's going to get split out wide on 2nd and 10. Dude is pressing up. Chris is not going to be able to beat the press. Tries to run a post route, but somebody fumbles the ball and Notre Dame is going to pick it up. This one might just be over. This team might just not be as good as I thought it was. Our quarterback is going to throw another pick. Clearly, our starter was a big piece of our success on offense. That caps off a brutal game. Chris only averaged 3 yards a carry as Notre Dame just dialed in on the inside running game. He was able to do something through the air, but not enough to get the job done. That was rough, dude. This week, we've got to bounce back against Wake Forest. Hopefully, their defense is a little bit softer. And right now, it seems like it, man. Chris sneaks through a tiny hole. And if we had just a little bit better blocking from our wide receiver, he would have cribbed that. Definitely looking like this is going to be an easier game so far. We'll get it going with a nice little swing screen. It was such a blessing that this is in the extra plays in Clemson's playbook for sure. And we'll go to it again here on 1st and goal. Chris is going to have nobody in front of him as our wide receiver is just blocking beautifully. I think this is going to be a better day. Defense gets a nice little stop for us. Let's keep it moving, boys. Got a big 3rd down to pick up here. And Chris is going to try to sneak up the middle. That'll work out. Nice throw from our quarterback. But he hasn't really done anything but throw it to Chris so far. As here on 2nd down, we're going with a little halfback sweep. This play is kind of weird. Doesn't get north quick enough. The average still isn't exactly looking beautiful today. I fear our offensive line is maybe just not quite as good this season. And we're going to have to settle for a field goal on this drive. I mean, last year, Chris definitely got better as the season went on. So maybe it'll be the same this year. And he's continued to be great out of the backfield. And hey, our quarterback actually throws a beam here. We convert a 3rd and 13, and this one is going back to the crib. I love it when we split Chris out wide. Gives him the opportunity to run some different routes, do some different things, and pick up some first downs. And here on 1st down, once again, for some reason, Wake Forest just leaves our outside receiver uncovered, and this will be another touchdown for us. This is looking more like the offense we saw last season, but I still want to get the run game going just a little bit more. Chris is under 5 yards per carry again today, and it's frustrating because I'm trying to break that Barry Sanders rushing record. I do fully believe we're breaking some kind of record this year because Chris has continued to cook through the air, and on 1st and goal, we should be able to pick up a rushing touchdown. Chris will get it and gets hit with a little late hit, but unfazed, he's going to hit the Heisman pose, going for a 2nd straight year. Wake Forest putting everyone up on the line at this point, and this time, Chris is going to make him pay. The outside finally opens up. All right, just got to finish it off on the goal line. We'll go right up the middle, and Chris will get in. Nice way to put a little bow on this game. So we get a much-needed bounce-back dub against Wake Forest, and honestly, not a terrible-looking stat line from Chris. Had 140 through the air as well. That should get him back up on the Heisman watch, I hope. I'm surprised we bounced back in the rankings so fast after losing to Notre Dame. Just got to keep the win train going, and our quarterback's going to start this out with a pick. The turnovers are what killed us in that ND game, and he's going to throw another one on the next drive. What is this dude doing? It is going to be a struggle to win the Natty with this quarterback, I tell you what. Chris is going to do his best to make it happen, but we got to figure something out with the run game. It's just been tough. It's kind of just how it is for running backs though, right? Your success is so dependent on your offensive line, and Chris should have some success on this play. Just has to make a guy miss, and it hits his spin move. I was worried he was going to slow down too much there, but Chris re-accelerates to get away from the linebacker, and this is the play we needed. House call, big play touchdown, and just like that, we're up over 100 on the day, and that opens things up for the passing game. Look at our quarterback getting a nice little dot, and all of a sudden, this offense is cooking with gas. Let's keep it pushing, man. Chris runs a nice sneaky route out of the backfield, and we continue to see how dangerous that spin move can be. Gotta make sure we at least get 3 points out of this drive, as Chris is going to go up the middle and should not have called for the ball there. Our quarterback's going to throw another pick, and uh-oh, man, this one might be going back to the house. Number 46 is the dude who Chris beat on his touchdown run, but he's going to get his revenge, taking it back before half. So after all that, we go into halftime with a deficit, and our quarterback, dude, is just throwing picks like crazy. I mean, the last one was probably my fault, but the other ones definitely haven't been. Thank God, defense somehow lets him get 0 points out of that. Well, our quarterback is what is going on? This is his 5th pick of the day, and this is going to be another pick 6. Donald Camp takes it in. I mean, this dude is a 90 overall. What's going on? Our quarterback from last year, for whatever reason, is number 2 on the depth chart now. Okay, well, at this point, our playoff hopes are seriously in jeopardy if we lose this game. We gotta make it happen. We need some quick scores to be able to survive this game, and I don't know if the running game's the way to do it. The problem is, I just don't trust our quarterback at all at this point. The only thing he's good for is throwing the ball to Chris, and thankfully is able to do it here. And coach wants to go 5 wide. I just don't know, man. Please just throw Chris the ball, and thankfully he does. This will turn into a nice little play up over the middle. Now we got it on the goal line. All we got to do is finish off this drive, but that play gets blown up from the start, and we're spreading it out again on 3rd and goal. Just gonna run a slant here with Chris, and I'm actually gonna shatter my controller, dude. Our quarterback has thrown 6 picks. 6 picks. Defense continues to just somehow keep us in this game. But my God, how is this dude not benched? He's still out there, but he's gonna have to pick up a 3rd and 5. And with a security blanket like Chris, you gotta wonder how he's ever throwing picks at all. Just check it down. And gotta make sure this drive turns into a touchdown. Oh my God, this man is trying to throw another pick. Does he have Stanford money line? Thank God that got dropped. We're going back to the run on 1st down, and this is what we need to do. No reason to go to the air at this point, coach. Come on now. Okay, 1st and goal. We need to be able to get to the outside this time, and Chris somehow got run down by a defensive end or tackle or whatever. I do love the speed option call here. Just got to execute, and thankfully our quarterback is going to do it. I have my doubts most definitely, but defense gets another turnover. They have actually been amazing today considering the circumstances. On 3rd and goal, we got to go to the bubble here. This is actually not going to set up very well though, and we're going to have to kick the field goal. So we take the lead, but Stanford takes it right back. Now we're going to have to go down for a money drive. Thankfully, a lot of time left on the clock. All we need is a field goal. No need to take unnecessary risks, and thankfully for once, our quarterback makes a good play in this game. Defense was crashing down, and we're going to take it to the bank. And Stanford is not able to get a touchdown. We escape with a dub just barely. Chris's day was centered around that one big game, but still, 2 touchdowns, 137 yards is solid on only 20 carries. And of course, did it through the air once again. Hey, we are once again going to be able to upgrade the juke move. I think that's up to platinum now. After last week's performance, Chris does finally get onto the Heisman watch. He's been absent from it for some reason so far this season. Last year, Florida State was a big part of why we didn't go to the playoffs. So this is going to be a revenge game today. Chris starting it out nice. I want him up to number 1 on that Heisman watch by the end of this game, as he's got a small hole here, but the juke move will help out to spring him for the 1st down. Love the way our guys are running so far on this one, and offensive line looking nice as well. I still don't know if I trust my quarterback. I want to run the ball as much as possible, and look at this beautiful lane for Chris. A perfect 1st drive as he takes it to the crib for an easy touchdown. But FSU clapping right back. Offense is going to have to keep it moving, and Chris will get his 1st reception of the day. Chris comes into this game as the leading receiver in the country, by the way, and he'll get one here on 3rd down, juking out to get some extra. Remember, we upgraded that juke move to platinum this week. I tell you, man, even when you get your player upgraded on this game, it can be hard to get loose on a lot of these plays. After a real nice start on the ground, FSU is starting to key in a little bit. That drive stalled out. We are definitely going to have to start slinging it around a little bit, as these dudes are swarming to the ball. So we'll have a big 3rd and 8 here, and FSU dropping their linebackers back into coverage, but they don't see Chris. Easy 1st down. All right, we keep it moving. 1st and 10. Chris will get it out of the backfield again, and trying to make a guy miss with the juke. That juke did not look quite as slick. As you can see, FSU's just sending guy off the edge, doing everything they can to stop the run. Chris has honestly done a nice job just to get positive yards out of those. And on 3rd down, guess what? Our quarterback is going to throw a pick. This guy has got to be the most turnover prone person in the nation, and FSU is in business. Noles are able to take the lead with a field goal. Offense has got to find a way to answer. I don't want this quarterback throwing to anybody except for Chris. Down at the 20, we probably could run the ball. Coach is keeping it in the air though, and despite a bad throw from the quarterback, Chris is going to be able to pick up the 1st down, spin it down to the 4. And I do think I definitely want to run it here. Line is going to hold up just long enough for Chris to power power, and look at the leg strength from our guy. And after that one, yes sir, we hit the Heisman pose. So 2 rushing touchdowns for Chris in the first half, but a tight one here against the Noles, and it's because our quarterback is a goddamn turnover machine. At this point, I'm praying for this man to get injured, because the backup is the dude who should have taken us to the playoffs last year, and oh man, I guess I can't be talking about turnovers, because Chris is gonna fumble it again. He's been weirdly fumble prone this season, and that is killer. FSU able to get a field goal out of that. We've come from behind before though, just gotta find a way to make it happen. And Mr. Coach going 5 wide on 3rd and 1. This is an interesting decision to say the least, and Chris trying to get open up the sideline. Instead, our quarterback just throws it incomplete, and looks like we're punting the ball. All right, so we head to the 4th, looking rough. Our quarterback continuing to just try to throw interceptions, it seems like. And we'll have a 3rd and 9. Chris should be open out of the backfield here. Quarterback has just got to hit him, and he does. That should get us close to field goal range. We have largely gone away from the run in the second half. Going back to it here though, and that'll make it 3rd and short. All right, let's see what you got, Mr. Quarterback. He is going to, bro, oh my God, man. This guy is actually so bad. It is unbelievable what is going on. It's actually like we're playing 10 on 12 football right now. Literally the only thing this guy's good at is getting it out to Chris, and oh my gosh, he's gonna do it here. Chris jukes a guy out, and this one is gonna go to the crib, guys. We might just have a chance in this one after all. Defense is going to have to get a quick stop. And we are up to the mercy of the sim. Let's see. Nope. Clock expires. We take our 2nd loss of the season. With the 12-team playoff, the season is by no means over, but now we're going to have to win out. Chris did everything he could, but the turnovers just killed us once again. Despite the loss, Chris does jump up to number 1 on the Heisman watch, but midway through the season, the stats are not looking as nice as I'd like. The touchdown to fumble ratio is a little bit questionable. Obviously, Chris has been great through the air, but those rushing stats have got to be better. For week 7, we're headed to Virginia Tech. Coach was talking up Chris there. Chris should be the one talking to coach, maybe telling him to take this quarterback out of the game, but we're starting it out with a nice play. Oh man, we got to make that last guy miss though. We've got the platinum juke, so the right stick is enticing, but I'm not gonna lie, boys, just getting shifty with the left stick might be the move. Anyways, we got to punch it in here. Virginia Tech did happen to score on their first drive, but our own offense looking good. Y'all saw the acceleration from Chris there. That was crazy. We're gonna get into the end zone for a tutty. Coach is doing that thing again where he's wanting to run it on 3rd and long. Chris has made it happen before, but not able to do it here. And he comes off the field. Virginia Tech's offense has been hot. Thankfully, we stop him this time though. Offense has got to find a way to get it cooking before half, but great. On 3rd and short, we're going to get a holding. The struggles continue for this offense. Chris is going to have to make it happen on 3rd down now, and is able to do it, holding on even though I went with the catch and run button. Headed to the 2-minute warning. We've got another 3rd down, and it's going to be another Chris reception. This time he's almost able to juke up out of there, but not quite. So a couple of big time conversions to keep the drive moving. And on 2nd down, we got the perfect pass play drawn up for Chris. Linebacker is definitely not able to get over to him. I think Virginia Tech was expecting a run, and the fans are looking a little bit deflated after that. But nonetheless, we head into halftime tied up with an 0-6 team. This is not the performance we need if we want to move up in the playoff rankings. On 3rd and 6 here, Mr. Coach is calling another run play. Let's see what we got. Decent blocking up front, and we get a pancake. Chris got through that hole so fast, I wasn't expecting it. I accidentally hit the truck stick and slowed us down. But regardless, we get a nice run to pick it up, and now we're going to my favorite, the little zone bubble, and this is still magic. Chris gets up out of there for the 1st down, showing the speed and getting down to the 6. Coach was trying to run some wacky pass play, so we'll just call this again, and that is easy cash. Chris will prance into the end zone and finally give us the lead in this one. All right, there we go. Defense gets a stop, and a beautiful hole up the middle here for the 1st down. Normally Chris has to be kind of patient to find the holes, but in this game he's been hitting them a little bit quicker. It feels like this Hokie defense is starting to wear down a little bit, but on 3rd down they're still playing the draw well. Thankfully Chris is able to make some magic and somehow turn that into a 1st. But after a couple of failed pass attempts, we got a 3rd and 9. But we are going to go back to the pass game here, and our quarterback is going to throw it into traffic, and guess what? This will turn into a pick. At this point I should stop complaining and just accept this reality. The good news is defense defense is dialed in since those first couple of drives, and our offensive line has also dialed in. That was a beautiful hole. We almost were able to turn it into more. Ideally, we just smash it down these dudes' throat here. The middle has been open much more frequently in the second half. We are going to have a 3rd and 8 here, and our quarterback flush from the pocket, but actually makes quite a nice throw, and we keep the chains and the clock moving. Now we just got to take care of the rock and get some kind of points. And again, the middle just wide open. Blocking in between the tackles has been beautiful. Slow and steady. Let's go get a touchdown, man. We go with the swing screen, and dude played it super aggressive. Chris gets over it and will walk in. Now we just need one more stop from the defense to cap this off. But Virginia Tech will not quite quit. They want this upset bad, but we're going to the same play here, and this time Chris is going to navigate around his blockers, and it's just a track race from here, and nobody can keep up with Chris in a track race. He will take it to the crib to cap this off, doing his dance in the end zone. Let's go. But maybe I spoke too soon. Virginia Tech got another touchdown, and somehow they were able to hold on to all of their timeouts. So suddenly we got a scary 3rd and 5 for the game, and just trying to go with the outside run. Chris is not quite able to spin for it. I was trying to get the move off. Okay, Virginia Tech will get a chance. Let's see. They are not able to convert. We sneak out of there with a dub. A little bit scarier than I wanted it to be, but a great day from Chris. 200 yards and 4 touchdowns through the air. After that one, Chris is definitely getting National Player of the Week and stays atop the Heisman watch as well. I do want to check out the top 25 because some interesting things in here, man. Syracuse is number 1, TCU number 3, and we're just hanging around here down at 15. The good news is we lost early in the season, which means we're still in a great place to make the playoffs. Oh yeah, and I've been waiting for this one. Before we get into the next game, I want to talk about this video's sponsor, Game Time. Game Time is an online ticketing marketplace that makes it faster and easier to get to your favorite events at a moment's notice. Game Time provides the premier marketplace for last-minute tickets at the most popular events in sports, music, and theater in more than 60 cities across the US and Canada, eliminating the need for printing and building a better way to access the best live experiences right from your phone. I love going to live events, whether it's college football games, baseball games, concerts, or shows, and Game Time is the best place to get online tickets. I can't even tell you how many times I've needed a last-minute ticket to get a friend into an Iowa football game, and Game Time has great deals for their game this week against Northwestern, and thanks to their feature that allows you to see your seats view on the app, I can see that I get a really solid price and still have a great view. Game Time also has all-in pricing, and if you turn it on, it shows you the total up front, so you won't have the annoying surprise fees when you get to checkout. Along with that, Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks, which makes getting tickets for your favorite live events way easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only the best deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Hawkeyes for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code HAWKIZE for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. Chris has taken on his old team. They have been struggling ever since he took him to the Natty. Chris definitely coming into this game with a chip on his shoulder, as SMU did not really give him the quality touches that he felt he deserved at running back, which Clemson has of course done a great job of doing. And hey, our quarterback's starting it out with a touchdown pass. You do love to see that. I've been hating on the boy a lot, but I'm of course always happy on the rare instances in which he actually does make a play, as Chris came very close to just juking out the entire SMU defense there, and on 3rd and 6 is going to get loose, outrunning the linebacker who was trying to guard him and juking a man out. I low-key should have hit that juke move again to get back inside. And we see there how impossible of a matchup Chris is. He gets stuck on his blocker but cuts back and takes that in for a rushing touchdown. This SMU defense is kind of soft, not gonna lie. The D was definitely a lot better when Chris was there. Bailed the offense out of a lot of tough situations, but like, what is going on here? We just need to get that downfield block. Oh man, Chris maybe should have been a little bit more patient. I thought number 12 was going to go get it for us and get stuffed on first down. The rushing average hasn't been quite as beautiful as I wanted today, but in the passing game, we have continued to just fry defenses. Chris is so good at finding those soft spots. Stat line's already looking beautiful in the second quarter, but uh-oh man, I shouldn't have called for the ball on 3rd down. Once again, I know I hate on this quarterback a lot, but that one was definitely not his fault. This is going to go back to the bank. Sometimes you get just a little bit too excited calling for the ball. It happens to the best of us, man. Let's keep it pounding the offense. We've got a 3rd and 3 here, and Chris not able to get open. Our quarterback actually threw a dime on the run. After a couple of misfires though, we got another 3rd down. This time it's 3rd and 8, and Chris just running a makeshift Texas route will get open and trying to turn this into a touchdown. Can he do it? Oh man, I thought he broke the line again on that spin. All good. We got 1st and goal from the 1, and Chris will just power in. I'll take a rushing touchdown anyways. Doing a little dance in front of the home SMU crowd. SMU's offense did did answer there, so they're kind of hanging around. But Chris has the seam wide open on this play, and we might have a shot to get another score before halftime. Split out wide, I'm going for the blur here, and oh man, this might be a dot from our quarterback. He is going to throw it all the way to the back of the end zone, and Chris taps his toes. The cleanest reception of his career is going to give us 35. A very exciting way to end the half, as our quarterback ended up throwing for 350 yards in the first part of this game. The guy has potential, man. He's just got to avoid the turnovers. And a beautiful cut from Chris there. Nothing was open to the left side, but he still gets the first down. Even when the running lanes are not easy, Chris consistently finds ways to get it done. And we're going to the halfback power here, a play that Chris ran a million times at SMU, it felt like. It's worked out a little bit better with this Clemson offensive line, and this should be money here to the outside. Chris has got to make a man miss and gets a block downfield. Come on, Chris, take this to the house. Put your head down, buddy. Oh man, we got to get up in there. How many times have we gone down on the one on a beautiful run? But doesn't matter, Chris will get in on the next play. Statistically, this is probably his best game of the season. We'll see if that holds up, as we are smashing the ponies today. It always just opens it up so much when we have a passing game. Our quarterback has legitimately been elite today. Finding Chris in the flats there and letting him work. 3rd and 11, let's go get another one, fellas. Chris is motioning out and trying to get open on the wheel. He will be able to fight for the first down. Chris has 200 receiving yards on the day. Now we got to go smash it in, 1st and goal, and Chris will just put his head down. That's maybe the most power we've seen from him all year. And look at him pointing to the sparse stands, taunting this SMU crowd. This one's pretty much over as we head to the 4th, but Chris is not trying to go out without making a couple more plays. We still don't have a 200-yard rushing game this season. I think this is the one. That puts him up to 160, and he has been consistently getting positive yards even when the holes are small. Going counter here on 2nd and 3, and this is a beautiful hole. I think that might have gotten us over 200. It's probably close, but we'll keep on rolling, man. You know coach doesn't like to take Chris off the field when he's going. Spinning for a nice extra 4 there. Let's see if we can pick up a 3rd and 5. Hole is not there, but Chris spins back. Upgrading the spin has been huge, and we're still not at platinum spin yet. That'll be crazy. I do wish I played with a running back before the spin move got nerfed, but once we get it upgraded, it's still pretty nice. We're at 59 points at counting, and Chris is still on the field for some reason. Just rubbing it in on his old squad, and doesn't even look tired. Let's get 60. This wide zone play hasn't exactly been amazing this season, but on 3rd down, it's going to work out pretty well. Time's ticking down, though. We got to pop a big one, and Chris just runs into his blocker here, but almost able to get it to the outside anyways. He is fighting hard, trying to get to 250 yards on the day, and that is going to do it for this one. We smash SMU in a statement game. This is what Chris needs to win the Heisman. 240 and 4 touchdowns, 200 and a touchdown through the air. Beautiful. And after that one, yes, we can improve the juke move to gold. Sadly, I actually don't think we can get to platinum because our shiftiness is already fully upgraded. That performance will of course get Chris another National Player of the Week. Next up, we got a big time road ACC matchup. Been a while since we played a tough road game. We'll see what Chris can do coming off of his incredible performance last week, and he's gonna start it out nice, hitting a juke move for a big gain. Love to see our guy looking sharp, and love to see the blocking looking sharp. The holes have been huge. We're almost able to get in for the touchdown. This NC State defense looks soft as hell. Chris will fly in for the touchdown in an easy first drive. Getting a big dub in this one would really make a statement to the College Football Playoff Committee. Chris has started out this game averaging around 10 yards a carry, but does get swamped in the backfield there. On 2nd and 11, he's going to get split out wide, and our quarterback just throws it into double coverage. There's something wrong with that dude, man. The guy has plenty of arm talent, but his reads are atrocious, and we miss a chance to really take control of this game. Gotta pick up this 3rd and 10, and Chris is coming wide open, but another interception, and this one is going to go back to the crib. Just like that, any momentum we had is gone. And now NC State is bringing down their safeties. This will make it a lot harder to run, still able to find a nice hole there. I want to get Chris going out of the backfield, but I'm scared to pass it at this point. On 1st and 10, we go back to the ground game, but now they're really keying in on it. It's time for some zone bubble action. This is a great way to get Chris in space, and following the block, he hits a nice juke move, might be up out of there, spinning back to the inside. Chris is looking faster than he ever has in his career, and on 1st down, we see a little bit more of that as he bounces it out. Feel like we maybe could have gotten a little bit more. And now we got 3rd and 8 from the 10. Looks like NC State is sending pressure, but we pick it up beautifully, and quarterback puts it on the money. Chris will strut in and drop the ball. Rushing stats have slowed down, but we are still balling. NC State's been putting guys right up there in the hole, but Chris makes a dirty cut, and he might be up out of there. Just has to outrun a couple of guys. They have a beat on him, but he is shedding tackles, getting down to the 5. Let's go. Chris has a head of steam. He'll get the ball again again on the 5, and this time will power in for the touchdown. We have reclaimed that momentum that our quarterback pissed away. This is starting to look like it could be one of Chris's best rushing games of the season, and even with 30 seconds left, we're running the rock. Okay, 25 seconds, hopefully that's enough. NC State's just going man, and when Chris is in man coverage, he gets away from these linebackers so easily. Okay, we got an inside zone from the 1. Offensive line has got a block, but they don't. On 3rd and goal, we got to try to pass for it. Chris is running the little wheel route, and he will get in. 28 points on the half for this offense, despite a couple of turnovers. At this point, NC State is putting literally everybody up at the line. That's going to make it pretty hard to get loose. That's why we need our passing game to be decent. Quarterback really helps keep teams honest, and if we can't do that, we're always playing in a phone booth. That drive stalls out, but defense has been real good. Just got to keep it pushing on offense, but Chris gets hit and fumbles the ball. I don't know what's gotten into him this season. He has never fumbled like this before, but NC State able to make this a 1-score game. Hopefully that's the last of the turnovers we see from Chris this season, but trying to make up for it, picks up a big 3rd down. Now on 1st and 10, we're going play action. Just need our quarterback to have enough time, and he will fire it to the out route. That's what we need. I would honestly like if our coach called a little bit more play action. On 3rd down, we're just going to try to run it right up the middle, and NC State was not fooled that time. But we take a 3-point lead, and defense gets a turnover. That's huge, and Chris will get into the end zone again. Look at that burst of speed up the middle. Let's go ahead and hit that Heisman pose. Turnovers have been an issue, but overall offense has balled out today. We just got to pick up one more 1st down here. NC State's trying to make that tough. Chris just hits a spin move though. I decided to just button mash, and it works out. We get the 1st, and that should knot this one up, but I'm greedy. We're going with the screen pass, and this is going to turn into a beautiful play, man. Chris gets out of there with the juke and accelerates. A great way to cap off this Heisman performance, if a little risky. Huge ACC dub there, as Chris ended up having 183 yards, 3 touchdowns, did have the fumble. We can't have any more of those, and also had 130 and 3 touchdowns through the air. And after the dub, apparently our quarterback and tight end have a stomach bug. I don't know what's up with that. That's a crazy storyline. Chris once again racks up National Offensive Player of the Week. Last few performances have been great, but with 3 games left, we're gonna have to put up numbers to get to that 2,000 yard mark in the regular season. We have the definition of a trap game here, taking on Louisville at night on the road. We'll see if Chris can keep cooking. So far, things are looking pretty good, man. Beautiful holes from this offensive line. If they keep this up, Chris is gonna break one for sure. Continuing to plow forward for 1st downs. Keep him off balance. We're gonna go to our little bubble, and oh man, Chris was about to be wide open. Looks like our receiver on the other side was too, and he's gonna take this for a big gain. I feel like Chris houses that if he gets the ball, but all good. We got a nice drive going, and man, we got to make that guy miss with the juke move. I feel like I didn't set it up quite right, but offensive line just keeps making beautiful holes up the middle. I feel like we just played tougher defenses at the start of the season. These last few games have been way easier, and Chris gets his 1st touchdown of the day. We're looking good. Unfortunately, getting lit up on that RPO. Seems like Louisville knew exactly what was coming there, and going back to the RPO, this time Costello will get it out to Chris. Not quite able to break that, but does pick up the 1st. I'm feeling good about this game. I was expecting Louisville to come out with a little bit more firepower, but right when I say that, they get a big time sack. Defense is balling out though. We're chilling. Gonna go back to the bubble again, and Louisville keeps doing this thing where they flip their coverage at the last second. That is not optimal for them, and we're looking good. Offense has got to finish this drive, but on this play, pretty much every time the offensive line just get pushed into Chris. I try to be patient with my running, but on that play, I think maybe I have to be too patient. No reason to go away from it when it's working so well, and once again, just a gash for Chris to run into. 2nd rushing touchdown of the day is easy money, and I'm hoping for another 200-yard game here. Chris is going to get it in the flats, and Louisville has that slow linebacker trying to cover him. Another crib call. Quarterback timed that throw absolutely perfectly, and forget a trap game. We might be on our way to a blowout. Defense just keeps getting stops, and we just keep on scoring touchdowns. Louisville did sneak one in there before halftime, but coming into this 2nd half, our offense is just rolling. Louisville has kind of been refusing to stack the box, which is really the only way to slow us down. And ooh man, I love this wide zone to the left. Just need the blocking to hold up outside, and Chris has a beautiful lane. Wide receiver throwing some blocks downfield. We got to get around this guy, but we can't quite do it. I should have just tried to juke him out. Still an excellent play, just perfectly blocked, and here up the middle, Chris is gonna get it cooking with the juke. Breaks a tackle, and we'll get down to the 1. Oh, I wanted to crib that. We can do it here though. Still just nobody up the middle, and Chris will leap over the pile for another one. Chris and this offensive line are not done yet. Let's keep it pushing. This is by far the best push we've gotten all year. Louisville is just coming to this game looking woefully unprepared to deal with Chris on defense. The game plan has truly been horrible for them. Chris is getting split out wide here, and our quarterback is going to take this opportunity to throw a trademark interception. So we lose a chance at a touchdown, but it's okay, man. All good vibes today. I am beyond happy with our offensive line. Those boys were looking just a little bit rough at the start of the season, but they have really figured something out. And to be fair, the competition level at the start of the year was very high, and our passing offense was better at that point as well. I do want to finish this out with at least one more touchdown. Let's get it, man. We catch the defense slipping, and Chris hits him with a wheel route, powering in. He has shown some real solid power today, and that gets us up over 200 yards. I'm not done though. I'm hungry for 300 low-key. Chris's efficiency today has felt Devin Callier-like. My real fans will get that reference. And this is the kind of game where I love that coach is getting Chris on the field. Most in the country definitely would have taken him out at this point, but on 1st and goal, Chris showing just reckless abandon, gonna jump the pile again and get yet another touchdown. He might have locked up the Heisman. It's not over though. We could potentially get to 300 rushing yards. It is going to take an absolutely massive play, but Chris has definitely shown that he can make those, and trying to get to the outside here, I'm having a little bit more trouble outrunning that guy than I expected, but Chris eventually will do it. 300 yards might not be out of the question, boys. There's no way Louisville's not just selling out for the run at this point, but their defense is tired. We have been pounding it down their necks all day, and we'll just keep on doing that. It's something about this defense. I don't know what it is, just gives us so much more space. Time ticking under 10 seconds. We probably got 2 more plays here, and once again we hit the spin move. I'll take a timeout, and we did get the 300 yards. So now it's a matter of getting one more tutty, and Chris is gonna get the reception out in the flat, but oh man, cornerback makes a nice tackle. That is gonna do it for this one, as Chris just eclipsed 300 receptions in his career, pumping up the away crowd for whatever reason. What a day, fellas. This is the statistical game I've been waiting for all season. Chris has another game with over 400 total yards. What is that, 4 National Offensive Players of the Week in a row? I think Chris has this Heisman pretty much locked down at this point. And with 2 games left, man, 2,000 yards in the regular season does suddenly look attainable. With 2,000 yards in reach, my new goal is to get 500 yards in these last 2 games. It's going to be tough for sure, but our offense has been cooking with gas lately. We got a 3rd down here. You know I got to go to the bubble screen to pick this up. Easy cash. And back to the ground game on 1st and 10. Boston College only has 1 guy over the middle. This might be another defense we can really run on. Now we go back to the beautiful bubble play. The blocking on the outside just has to hold on long enough, and Chris is going to have an easy path to strut into the end zone. Defense started it out rough, but is able to get the stop, and Chris bounces this to the outside. This is the best burst I've seen from him all season. Dude feels like 110 speed, as he is just gonna blaze by everybody on this Boston College defense for an easy touchdown. Once again, we'll show the settings. We are on Heisman. Chris is just crazy at this point in his career, and hey, defense got us a turnover. Boston College is starting to stack the box a little bit more, and on 1st and goal, it seems like we should be going anywhere but up the middle, as Chris tries to leap over the pile, does get down to the 1. The Dolphin leap might be the move on the goal line, low-key. Let's try it again. Yes, it's gonna be money. Chris had a guy coming right at him, probably would have gotten stood up otherwise. We are gonna have to open up the passing game a little bit more to do that. We can't have every single safety walking down into the box, and I feel much more comfortable passing the ball with this lead, especially when Chris has just had such an easy time of getting open. This Boston College defense is nothing to write home about, and man, quarterback's gotta hit Chris on the wheel route there. That would have been a touchdown. All good. We keep it pushing with the pass game. Chris was having a hard time getting off the line there, but gets loose, and man, he's getting a little bit overzealous with this dolphin dive, just smashing his body into defenders. So on 1st and goal, we're gonna calm down. He's got a clear lane up the middle. We'll just get up in there for another touchdown. The Heisman might as well be locked up at this point. Chris is playing for a place in history, and with 1 second left on the clock, somehow he is going to break out of there. What looked like a nothing play is gonna turn into a touchdown. We got 35 points in the first half, and all of them are from Chris. 160 yards on just 16 carries for Chris right now. He is unconscious, and I gotta once again give a shout out to our offensive line. The boys up front have just been amazing. Our offense is truly clicking at the exact right time in the season. We're looking like a team that deserves to be in the playoffs. We can't get too ahead of ourselves though. This game is not quite over yet. I've seen crazier things happen than a 21-point comeback. Chris really does not look like he's gonna let that happen, showing no signs of slowing down at all. He's gonna get to 200 yards, and we've still got plenty of time on this this one. Here on 3rd and 2, he's going to get the give and we'll spin down to the 1. How many times has Chris been tackled on the damn 1-yard line? How to finish this drive off quick if we want to hit 300, and Chris shrugs off a tackle to get in. That play looked like it was dead in the water. We got to keep it moving. Let's go, man. At this point, the holes aren't always even there, but Chris is just throwing guys off of him. I'm going to just keep on keeping it moving. Chris going straight up the middle, and look at the speed. I should note, Chris isn't even a 99 speed player, man. He's 97, but his agility and acceleration are just so elite. And bouncing it to the outside again here, look at the blocking down the field for our wide receivers. They deserve a little bit of credit for that too. We just got to keep on piling on, man. Chris getting the reception here. You notice I ran backwards so these would count as rushing yards, and we're going to juke on down to the 1. We already know this is easy cash. Just go up the middle, and I think that will give us 300 on the day. Let's see. No, we're at 295. He has done it efficiently too. 10 yards per carry, and this will put him over 300. Do I even dare ask for the 400-yard day? I feel like it is possible, but some more magic would have to happen. Dude, Chris is just like, something about him is different. I swear, once you get these abilities up, it just starts feeling unreal. I only wish we could have unlocked him a little bit sooner in Chris's career, as that is going to do it for this one. Chris finishes with 340 yards on the day at an 8.4 average, 6 touchdowns, and 88 yards receiving. I don't even need to show this, but we'll rack this up again. Oh my god, South Carolina's #1. This is going to be a barn burner. Our last game of the season is against the #1 team in the country. Let's get it. Chris is coming into this game as undoubtedly the hottest player in the country. I'm looking for a 200-yard game today. Not only do I want to win, I'm trying to hit 2,000 yards on the season. As on 3rd down, Chris is on the wheel route, and we'll pick this up with ease. He is single-handedly moving this offense down the field. Got to go punch it in now. Going to the outside here, and blocks will not quite hold up long enough. For whatever reason, coach wants to run it on 3rd and 8. Got to try to make some magic, but nothing up front and nothing to the outside either. South Carolina gets the stop. So we're 3-3 headed into the second quarter, and the Gamecocks are dialing in on the run game right now. The Clemson coach is just not showing any interest in passing the ball. He's telling Chris he's got to go win this game himself. I mean, South Carolina is still going too high here, but you see how they're sending that safety, making things difficult for sure. The passing game is going to have to get involved, and I like that we're running a little play action here. Keep them honest, fellas. Our quarterback's just got to make a nice throw, and thankfully he does. Need Buddy to play turnover-free football today, and right when I say that, he almost throws a pick 6. What is he doing? All right, well, we're gonna have a 3rd and 20 here, and Chris trying to find a way to get open. Quarterback will just dump it off, and that might actually get us into field goal range. Okay, I guess I'll take 3 out of that. We're holding on to a slim lead headed into the second quarter, and running for it up the middle on 3rd and 4. This play is thankfully very well blocked, and Chris might have a shot. Almost got up out of there. I like the looks of this drive. This offense is due to score a touchdown eventually, but we're faced with a 3rd and 10. Let's see if Chris can find the open space. Oh no, dude. Sometimes when I call for the ball too much, it gives me that conservative catch animation. So we got to settle for the field goal again. This time, South Carolina scores. A waste of a few nice drives, man. We could easily be up by multiple scores right now. Instead, we're fighting from behind. With time running down in the half, Chris is split out wide and trying to split the cover 2. Man, he cannot quite do it. Drops the ball. That would have been the big play we were looking for. But on 3rd down, Chris is wide open in the flats. For some reason, they just didn't pick him up. All right, don't mess this up, boys. Come on. With 1 timeout, we've got 2nd and goal, and our quarterback just gonna dump it off. We'll have to take a timeout. 4 field goals is crazy. Thankfully, our defense started out the second half with a turnover, but South Carolina just continues to get us to 3rd down. This time we're going with a draw, and Chris is gonna have to make some magic. He's able to do it though, cutting around, and finally Clemson will get its first touchdown. We take a 2-score lead. Still a lot of work to do, but I'm feeling much better now, and finally Chris is gonna turn this into a track race. He won't quite be able to get past the second level, but that's his biggest play of the day. Now this offense is starting to really cook. If we're able to finish off one more drive, this game might just be over, and Chris is kind of starting to close in on that 200-yard rushing mark. With this pass, he'll get up over 100 through the air. Nice little juke move to try to get out. So we are back down here on the goal line, and Chris is going to try to go over the pile and does it. My god, what an athlete this dude is. But man, our defense just continues to ball out. They kept us on our feet in this one. We were just kicking field goals, and now I'm going all in on getting Chris to 2,000 yards in this game. Honestly, we might just be there already. Up to 150 on the day now, but can't quite get in there for the touchdown. After this win, your Clemson Tigers might just be the #1 team. I know we're 9-2, but we just seriously gloriously handled the supposed best team in the country, and we really did it all with the running game and short passing game, as Chris trying to get up out of there one more time, hitting the juke move, and won't quite be able to crib this, but this will get him real close to 200 yards. We get a huge rivalry dub, 34-10. South Carolina is the team that beat us at the end of last year. Chris comes through with 206 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns, as well as 111 through the air. And at the end of the regular season, Chris is over 2,000 rushing yards. He's got a chance to break Barry Sanders' record. Also has 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns receiving. With the ACC title in the playoffs left, I think we can definitely get to this 2,600 number. And here we go, ACC Championship against Syracuse. This game will decide a spot in the playoffs and potentially lock down a Heisman Trophy for Chris. And along with that, we are of course chasing the Barry Sanders rushing record. Right now, Chris is just getting a steady diet of carries, and on 3rd and 7 is able to come up with a big time reception. As here on 1st down, we're going with a read option, and Chris is going to bounce this outside, getting up out of there and showing just an insane burst of acceleration. He will take this to the crib to open up the ACC Championship. Syracuse was the #1 team for a lot of the season, so I do expect him to put up some fight, and after that stop, they were able to go down and get a touchdown, but Chris is looking to answer right back here. Just followed his blockers on that counter play, and here on the RPO, he had so much room to bake, hitting the juke and the spin and getting this thing all the way down to the 12. I think it's safe to say that the Heisman's locked up. Now the focus is just going out and getting this dub, and we convert another big 3rd down. We'll see if Syracuse can answer again, and this time they cannot. This is where I'd like to see us put the foot on the neck, and the read option has just been so effective. Chris has a chance to crib this and can't quite do it, but it's a huge gain. At this point, Syracuse is sending run blitzes on nearly every play, but they still can't stop Chris. Look at him getting out of there, and we'll take another one to the house, giving the boys a 2-score lead. 1,200 yards in the first half isn't even over yet. This has the makings of an incredibly dominant performance, and with Syracuse dedicating so many resources to the run, this time our wide receiver will get in for an easy touchdown. We've got a chance to fully put this game away before halftime, and once again, Cuse just trying to press everyone. Our offense will hang 35 points in the conference championship game. It's been all Clemson so far. I want to keep the ground game cooking. At this point, we're just worried about the stats. The game is pretty much over, but we got a rushing record to break. I am not slowing down giving Chris these carries. And it's nice because at this point, Chris actually has a lot of control over the play calling. He's actually been making checks at the line for his quarterback. Not only is he getting all the touches, he is quite literally running this offense. He has so many qualities that should make him popular with NFL scouts, all the physical and mental tools you possibly could want. And since I'm actually playing this series in Road to Glory, we'll get to see exactly how Chris transfers over to superstar mode. With the value he brings to this offense, I think he's a top 5 draft pick. And look at the moves. Chris hits a double juke and gets up out of there. That is going to give Clemson 50 points, a pretty definitive statement that we maybe deserve the top seed in the playoffs. Heisman repeats are a pretty rare thing in college football, but I think Chris definitely has it locked down. And on 2nd and 4, Chris is going to the outside again. It looks like Syracuse has maybe just given up on defense. Coach is not taking Chris off the field. He's staying in and just powering forward here. Will get another touchdown. 270 yards on the day and still not coming out. The stat padding is actually pretty crazy right now. But hey, it's not every day that you get the chance to break a college football rushing record that a lot of people thought would never be broken. A place in the history books might be worth the risk of injury, and Chris just continues to pile on, running downfield again, and this time juking to get down to the 4. We did have a little holding on 1st down. All good, just gives us more space to rack up yards. And I haven't talked about it a lot, but goddamn, the blocking in this game has just been so beautiful. Chris has had huge holes to run through all day and rocking Syracuse to sleep. What a statement. We hang 66 on the number 10 team in the country in what, in my opinion, was the best game of Chris's career. He was incredibly efficient, 5 rushing touchdowns, as well as another touchdown and 78 yards through the air. Let's see, man. Chris is going to win Player of the Year and will win his 2nd straight Heisman Trophy. Much deserved, obviously. Of course, going to be a first-team All-American as well, as we ended up landing the #1 seed in the college football playoffs. Chris heads to the playoffs only needing around 200 yards to break the Barry Sanders rushing record. He might have a shot at the rushing touchdown record also. I think he needs 7. Looks like we're going to be taking on Auburn in the quarterfinals. It's time for Chris's 2nd college football playoffs of his career. And based on that first play, this is going to be a little bit harder than the ACC Championship. It seems clear that Auburn's game plan is going to be stacking the box like crazy. So we're going to have to find a way to make him pay in the passing game, and Chris is going to do just that here, hitting the wheel route and almost almost taken this one all the way. Stopping this running game doesn't necessarily mean you stop Chris, but it is definitely the best way to slow this offense down. Only 16 rushing yards in the first quarter. That is not going to be enough to catch Barry. The good news is our defense has been going crazy, and Chris will continue to get open in the passing game. We got a big 3rd and 1 to pick up here, and for some reason Auburn just chose to put no one up the middle. So the drive keeps moving. We're going to wear down this defense eventually is the thing. If there's one person who just keeps on going no matter what's happening in the game, it's Chris, and he's finally going to find Pater for his first touchdown. That should knock this thing open a little bit. Auburn scores, but we hang on to a 7-point lead, and with that reception, Chris gets up over 60 yards on the day. A lot of these super run blitz heavy offenses rely on guys to get out to the flat to defend Chris, and that is just simply not possible most of the time. And once Chris gets out to that flat, he is so dangerous. That has pretty much just single-handedly been our offense today at this point. So we got another drive going here at the end of the first half, and this time Chris will go up the seam. I don't think Auburn was expecting that, and he is going to have a barrage just powering into the end zone, and just like that, we've got a 2-score lead. We have forced Auburn to respect the pass, and that should open up running lanes, man. We got to draw up the middle. We got 9 seconds to make it happen down by the goal line, and coming out of the backfield here, Chris is open, but our quarterback just throws it away. So we're going to have to settle for a field goal here, and our defense continues to stand up tall. Auburn does get a field goal, but they're going to need more than that to get the dub because our offense is just too dangerous. Look at that spin move, man. Shook like 4 dudes out of their shoes, almost turned it into a crib call. That's what we need from Chris, and on 1st and 10, I love this play to get him into a little bit of space. We got to go with more outside run game. That might be the way forward, man. Auburn's been putting a ton of guys in the middle and definitely not dedicating resources to stopping the outside run. There are just too many things this Clemson offense can hit you with, even without like a real threat of a deep vertical passing game. And here we're going to see why we don't have that much of a threat of a deep passing game. Our quarterback instantly gets hit and fumbles it. We're lucky to pick that up. And now on 3rd and 24, we're going to have to try to screen. This is setting up pretty well, but our guy just decided not to block, and Chris can't get away from that dude. I was worried Auburn was going to drive right down and get a touchdown, but defense continuing to ball. Big time 3rd and 2 here. We're just going to try to go up the middle, and Chris will attempt to power forward. It'll be 4th and inches, and we're going outside zone here. Just got to make sure we pick up the first, and Chris will put his head down and barely get it. On 2nd down here, unfortunately, Chris is just going to get pushed into his blocker and gets hit very hard 3rd and long. We're going to have to settle for a field goal here, but that's all we need. This Auburn offense hasn't been able to do anything. They wasted just so many early stops from their defense. It really was tough to score at the start of this game, but the SEC boys just couldn't hang with the ACC, aka the most dominant conference in college football. Let me just pick up this 4th and 2 real quick. Chris, oh man, had so much space up the middle. For some reason, our quarterback decides to keep it. All good, fellas. I do want to add to the stats a little bit here, and that is probably the best hole we've had all day. Chris has really had a tough time getting space. Okay, so Auburn did their best to stop Chris, but our defense really won us this game today. And still, 144 rushing yards for the boy at 150 through the air. College football semifinal is going to be a rematch against South Carolina. Looks like we got Michigan and TCU on the other side. And if Chris gets 100 yards today, he should be breaking that rushing record. We were able to beat South Carolina pretty good the first time we played him. We'll see what happens in this semifinal game. Chris is, of course, on the verge of breaking Barry Sanders' rushing record, and he might just do it on this play. Beautiful blocking, and we get loose. Chris will take it to the crib on the first drive. This is where we got to smell blood in the water and go. We're running this counter play here. This play requires so much patience, but Chris shows it and almost breaks open another home run. After slowing down last week, this Clemson offense looks inspired. We're going with the swing screen, and Chris is on fire today, breaks up out of there again, and will take it to the house for another long touchdown. South Carolina is able to answer, so just got to keep up this offensive momentum. On 2nd down, we got a draw play and nobody up the middle. Can we get up out of there again? Chris hits the juke move, and we love to turn it into a track race. We'll win this every time. That cornerback low-key kind of hanging around with Chris. 4 carries for 161 rush yards, and this is not against a bum team. This is the college football playoff semifinals against a team that was number 1 for a lot of the year, but for whatever reason, both the offensive line and Chris are on fire. The holes have seriously been crazy. It's been a huge improvement since the start of the year, but Chris has been playing perfect so far, but fumbles, and the Gamecocks do recover. Okay, thankfully defense just gets a stop. Chris has fumbled just a little bit more than I would have liked him to this season, but he's at 200 yards on this game. I mean, come on, man. Somehow he's going to get out of there again. This could be another touchdown. Chris is eventually going to get hawked down, down, but this is maybe the best half of football a running back has ever played. He has looked legitimately unstoppable, and trying to go over the pile here gets helicoptered into the air. Lucky he didn't get hurt on that. Gotta finish this off here. We'll go up the middle again, and I just don't know what's going on with South Carolina's defense. They were not this easy the last time we played them. Their offense is doing their best to keep them in this game, but this one might just be over coming out of the half. It really doesn't look like they can do anything to slow Chris down. There's not really a reason we should do anything but run the ball. Unfortunately, we do get stopped on this third down. Maybe South Carolina's defense made some adjustments at halftime, but their offense is lagging behind. There's no way they can keep up. We do have another 3rd and 3 here. Going halfback screen and sets up perfectly. Chris is going to get up out of there again. It's slowed down just a little bit, but still balling out. And look at how many dudes South Carolina's got in the box. Can we block these guys? Yes, we can. Chris gets up out of there and might have a shot. Couldn't quite get past the second level this time, but another first down. And I do want to show this, by the way, because people always do ask. We are still on Heisman difficulty. This was another one of those games that was just over before it had a chance to really get started, and Chris has been quiet for much of this second half, but breaks out again, showing the insane change of direction. The joystick is now upgraded to platinum. A reminder that Chris still isn't at 99 speed, man. He's only at 97. 369 rushing yards on the day. Could we get a 400 yarder in the playoffs? I want to at least try, and low-key, dude, I've been hating on this counterplay. It's not actually bad. I just haven't been running patient enough. This can turn into huge gains. One thing I love about these new gen football games, this goes for college football and Madden, is that running with patience is so much more important. You really didn't have to do it at all in NCAA football 14, but the more we've upgraded Chris, the less patient we've had to be, and here he'll just jump over the line, and that puts Chris at 415 rush yards on the day. He could get pretty near 500 if he cribs it on this play, and he might have a shot. We'll try to spin those guys out. You get some crazy animations with the spin move in this game. Our quarterback did not have to do anything today. This is a playoff performance that will definitely never be topped. Over 500 total yards for Chris. He was single-handedly winning this game. But you gotta give our offensive line some love as well. They were so good. After that game, not only is Chris the career rushing leader, he has broken Barry Sanders' rushing record, has a shot to get to 3,000 yards this season, and also broke the rushing touchdowns record. In the national championship, we got TCU. They got back here, huh? We'll upgrade the abilities just a little bit more here. We start the national championship game backed up inside our own 2, coming hot off of a 400-yard rushing performance. I'm not expecting nearly as easy of a game today, and the Horned Frogs are actually going to start it out with a lead. It's been a while since our team has been tested. We got to fight back. Chris is still cruising that high off of last week, but he's going to have to run hard today for sure. This offense is moving slowly but surely down the field. That's the best hole of the day so far. That'll get us up over 30 yards, and I believe up over 3,000 yards on the season. But on third down, this is going to get stuffed. Chris didn't even have a chance. TCU might just be tough. The running lanes have not been near as big. Sometimes you got to try to make your own running lanes. On this inside zone split, I'm going to cut it all the way back across the formation, and this turned out to be the right move. Low-key might be the maneuver on that play. Despite some tough defense from the Horned Frogs, Chris is finding a way to do his thing. We're going to have to finish off this drive though. Quarterback has been hapless in the pocket so far, just has to dump it off to Chris, and he can't get up out of there. Very nice tackle. A surprisingly defensive game so far. Offense has got to find a way to break through, and I should probably be juking out instead of in on that one. I need my quarterback to make a play eventually, and for some reason TCU just had nobody on that deep route. Kinda wish he would have thrown it to Chris, because I think he could have cribbed that, but we'll take the big gain. Now on 1st and 10, we're going with a halfback dive. I'm trying to bounce this out. We got to be aggressive, and look at TCU just putting everyone up on the line. This time it is going to work out for them. For some reason coach just wants to run it on 3rd and 7 though, and this actually is going to open up a hole. I guess bro knew what he was doing, and hey, we got to give a little credit to our coordinator. He's the one who's figured out how to get Chris into so much space this year. An absolute blessing after what we were working with at SMU, and they tried to stuff the run. Chris is a little bit too quick though. All right, 1st and goal, gotta find a way, and I want to cut this back across the formation. Sometimes Chris is so fast he's almost like out of control, and TCU is going to get us to 3rd and goal. All right, huge play. I'm looking to leap over the line, and that is exactly what we're going to try to do. Oh man, I should have just put my head down and gotten it. Okay, thankfully we were able to get 7 anyways. And hey man, all things considered, Chris has 100 rushing yards on the half, and we've got a chance to take the lead in the national title game before halftime. TCU has not really been playing pass defense so far, so we'll see how that goes. We could get a touchdown here. That'd be beautiful. We're trying to go up to the end zone, and oh man, I thought that was it. Nice play from the DB. We're gonna have 3rd and 10. Chris motion spins out, and we should have the corner route, but our quarterback just doesn't know how to put air under the ball. Nonetheless, we head into half with a 3-point lead. I'm hoping the second half is a little bit more dynamic, and this play always seems to be good for a big gain. Let's go get a touchdown here, fellas. TCU's continuing to stack the box. We'll have 3rd and short, and honestly, we probably should be airing it out more. The Horned Frogs have got us playing in a phone booth, but thankfully our quarterback goes over the middle, and we'll get it down to the 12. And I'm liking the off-tackle call from coach here. TCU does kind of blow that up, but somehow Chris is going to turn this into a 9-yard gain. Just got to punch it in here, fellas. TCU is putting everybody over the middle, and Chris is getting hit hard. Big time 3rd and 1. Just going with a little swing, and instead our quarterback throws into double coverage. This is going to be a pick. I should have just run the damn ball. But hey, man, defense has been excellent again. We just need to break a big play, and I thought that might have been it. And design run to the outside here. We're actually going to bounce it to the inside, and this is going to turn into a track race, man. Chris gets around one guy. The other guy's definitely got an angle on him, but this is the big play we were looking for, down to the 20 now. All right, take care of the ball this time, boys. Our quarterback is not going to take care of the ball. He just chucks it into traffic again. Going to the air on 3rd and 17, and Chris trying to get open. He is able to do it, and finally, Chris finds the end zone in the national title game, giving Clemson a 2-score lead. A very clutch play on 3rd down from our quarterback, but he is subsequently going to throw a pick right back to TCU. We had a chance to really finish this off on that drive. And man, TCU turns it into a 3-point game. They have once again got everybody on the line daring us to throw. And we got to at least give it a try here, right? I'm just going to call for the ball out of the backfield. I'm too nervous about what our quarterback's going to do otherwise. And that does not work out. We've got 3rd and 7. And Chris trying to find a soft spot in the defense, catches it, but it'll be 4th down. Okay, defense standing up again. We got to reward him with a touchdown here. And I'm trying to bust this to the outside. Come on, Chris. Let's pick up a block downfield, and number 12 gets it. Chris Multisanti, the Heisman winner, is off to the races. The 3,000-yard rusher is going to take it to the crib and maybe wrap up the national title game as he takes a bow. Defense gets another critical stop, and that is going to do it for Chris's college career. We win the national title in dramatic fashion. The second of Chris's career, he does it with a different team. TCU fought hard in the first half, but Chris just came through. Finished with 250 yards on the day. Once again, just carried his team. Chris finishes his senior season with 3,200 yards on a 7-yard average, 40 touchdowns. And to add to that, had almost 2,000 yards receiving, 19 touchdowns there as well. I mean, the share of this offense he accounted for was unseen ever before in college football. So there's only one thing left to do, boys. Let me know where you think Chris should pop up in the NFL, and I will see you fellas in the next one. Peace.